There are the law, Shvisas Yom Tov, the resting on Yom Tov. They contain 12 mitzvahs, 6 positive and 6 negative. They are to rest on the first day of Pesach, not to perform work on it, right? Positive, negative, right? To rest on the seventh day of Pesach, not to perform work on it. To rest on the festival of Shavuos, not to perform work on it. To rest on Rosh Hashanah, not to perform work on it. To rest on the first day of the festival of Sukkot. We already did Yom Kippur, right? So that's why it's not mentioning it here, right? And not to perform work on it. To rest on the 8th day of the festival, not to perform work on it. These mitzvahs are explained in the chapters that follow. Halacha 1. The 6 days of the Torah forbade work are the first and 7th days of Pesach, the first and 8th day of the festival of Sukkot, the first Shavuos, the first and 7th of the month. They are referred to as holidays, right? Holiday meaning Chag, right? They're referred to Chag, Yomim Tovim, actually. I sure more specifically, Yomim Tovim. The obligation to rest is the same. On these days, it is forbidden to perform all types of servile labor, with the exception of those labors necessary for preparation of food, as implied from the verse, only the labor from which our souls will eat may you perform. So, right, remember the word ach we had today. Ach means but, right? So it means to exclude something. What's the exclusion over here? The exclusion is that food, oichal nefesh, it's called in Hebrew, you could do on Yom Tov. So from a pre-existing flame, as we will learn, you can cook on Yom Tov. Shabbos you can't, but on Yom Tov you could. Okay. Anyone who rests from servile labor on one of these days fulfills a positive commandment, but the Torah describes them as Shabbos, days of rest. Okay. Yeah, days of rest. Slide in, Diane, please. Thank you. Whoever performs a labor that is not for the sake of the preparation of food on one of these days, example, he builds, destroys, weaves, or the like, negates the performance of positive commandment and violates negative commandment, right? That you should not perform labor, you shall not perform any work on them. If a person performs a forbidden labor when observed by witnesses and after receiving warning, the Torah prescribes that receiving lashes as punishment. So interesting, we see from here that Yom Tov is not as harsh a punishment, and therefore not as lofty as Shabbos, because Shabbos you get, if you were witnesses, do you get lashes?
No, definitely.
You get death penalty, right? So Shabbos is the most harshest, meaning it's the most important. Hence, the most important, if you're putting in a hierarchy, in the end, everything is a mitzvah of God, right? On one level, we have to see that it's all the same. Custom and biblical law, doesn't matter. But there's still something about the hierarchy that we need to also understand and appreciate, because in halachic makeup, it will make a difference. Okay. Whenever a person performs several forbidden labors on the holiday, after being warned once, he sews, builds, destroys, and weaves. After receiving a single warning, he receives only a single set of lashes. There is a distinction between the categories of forbidden labor on Shabbos, but there is no such distinction on the holidays. Okay, I only did this because I wanted to make sure we learned something, but I have an obligation to go somewhere, so I got to